Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, October 16, 2023. I'm Rochelle Batiste with the details. St. Vincent and the Grenadines today joined other countries around the globe in celebrating World Food Day 2023 under the theme Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. The national celebration activities included a ceremony and exhibition held at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Postal Corporation parking lot in capital Kingstown, hosted by the Ministry of Agriculture. The exhibition featured a number of farmers and agro-processors who had on display fresh produce and value-added products, showcasing the theme of World Food Day 2023. Speaking with SVG-TV News at the exhibition, Senior Technical Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Coral Thompson-Fergus, said Vincentians should consider practicing cultivating a backyard garden to ensure food security, noting that all pillars of food security, including access, availability, and consumption, must be addressed using a multi-sectorial approach.
Only because the price is high for fruits and vegetables, that is only one of the reasons. But two, you can only know what you eat if you grow it, because if you talk organic and you talk healthy and availability and access to fruits and vegetables, you could do so by having your own home garden. No one ministry, no one agent can bring about a change in food security. So we have to look at availability, in what foods are available. How do we always make food available to the population all of the times? And even issue of access. Access has to do with our physical access to it as well as our economical access to it, and then our consumption. When do we have it? Do we eat it? So these are some of the factors we have to take into consideration when we talk about addressing food and nutrition security. In terms of access and availability, home gardening is certainly one of them.
Inventory officer attached to the Agriculture Warehouse and Fish Market, Ingrid Neverson, said that it is important to eat what is produced locally rather than purchasing imported goods. Neverson also stressed the importance for Vincentians to be educated on food security.
What we have, we make it useful and be creative. For example, the canned fish and the smoked fish. Instead of imported fish overseas, we have it right here and taste good. Eat healthy, a healthy lifestyle. Train our children to eat healthy and what we plant and what we catch. Because we intend to eat local and international stuff than local. We rather to go in the supermarket and buy tuna and sardine than eat a fresh fish. If we don't have dolphin or kingfish, we think it's not the best fish. But we have tuna, we have snappers, we have other variety of fishes, which is eat good and also healthy. So we could cut back on our food security by producing more here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
At the World Food Day ceremony, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Soboto Caesar, congratulated the organizing committee for their work. He said food has shaped a significant part of the world's history and that the period in which we are now living in today, a close attention must be paid to food production and food productivity.
Because as we grapple with the vagaries of climate change, if we do not increase exponentially the production of food, and if we don't improve the technology that we are using, there is a very strong possibility that come 2050 that there could be a global food shortage. And that is the reality. It is against that backdrop that we are celebrating World Food Day 2023. And I notice, and I want to make note, must not be lost on us, the students who are here with us. And let us give them a special round of applause this morning. It was raised at the Caribbean Week of Agriculture that we are facing the problems and the impacts of prairial loss in the years. We are facing the impacts of climate change, yes, and the high cost of fertilizer and inputs, yes. But one of the greatest challenges that we are facing is the aging farming population. When you go through the villages and you see the persons who are farming, for the most part, they are over the age of 50. It was noted in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's about 52 or 53. And the onus is on us to ensure that generations Alpha and generations Z, those persons are under the age of 26 years old in our country, in our region, and in our world, that we form out of them an exceptional cadre of multi-talented and multifaceted young persons who would see the benefit of entering into the global food supply chain.
On the current heat wave, Minister Caesar said he has been informed that the longest, hottest period is currently being experienced in the country, and the heat wave is expected to last for another 2 to 3 weeks, bringing with it a number of challenges for the agriculture sector, with an impact assessment to be carried out.
Because the vegetable farmers are noting that come Christmas, because of the impact of the heat wave, we are going to see a scarcity of vegetables on the market. And I have to say this now because preparing for 2024, it is the duty of the technicians, and I want to recognize Mr. Danoa Jackson, who is here, who is representing Cali. Let us give him a special round of applause. We have to ensure that we have more heat-tolerant varieties of crops in our country, so that we will be able, even though we are impacted by moments of extreme heat, that we can still ensure that we are supplying food for consumption. Food security is of first importance. Food must always be affordable, accessible, and available. And a report from the Fisheries Department, we are already experiencing coral bleaching. The Chief Fisheries Officer who is here is agreeing. And we have to do the dives, because what this means is that if we have significant bleaching of the coral reefs, then you're going to have a breakdown in the ecosystem there. And places where persons traditionally fish, there will be significant migration of the fish, which means that our fishermen would have to go further in order to get the fish, which means they would need more gas. And if they're using a 2-stroke engine instead of a 4-stroke, they are going to at some point in time tell you that you have to pay a little more for the fish. So when we speak about the impacts of climate change and we speak about agriculture, we're speaking about the price also for food.
Minister Caesar noted that there has also been a drop in egg production, and farm workers are seeking more money for their work. He said despite these challenges, there are a lot to celebrate in the industry, noting that in the next 3 weeks, over 100 animals will arrive in the country to add to the national herd to increase production and the livestock sector.
We were able to export close to $250,000 worth of animals to Grenada. And there are many farmers who continue to benefit from this. During the period of 2023, we have gone past the input of over $1 million in the fleet expansion program, the joint program between the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Kingston Cooperative Credit Union. And I want, for the fishers who are listening, there is a request for another $1 million, because there are over 180 persons who have applied and are awaiting their vessels, and we are going to ensure that these are supplied. We are going to witness before the end of the year the distribution of the last tranche of urea fertilizer. We received 40,000 sacks of urea, and it's because of that we have witnessed an increase in the production of dasheen. So we are going to complete that distribution later on this year. Work continues with the arrowroot factory, which will be completed next year so that we can begin production. I am happy to report today on World Food Day that our dasheen farmers are benefiting from excellent prices, and we have also witnessed over the past months the operationalization of several buying depots in the country. And in 2024, we will be specializing this with the assistance of cold storage technology, whereby we'll be able to store more produce at these food terminal markets, whereby persons will not only come, sell, we purchase, and we have to almost in a fire stick sale sell this produce. We will be able to reduce them slowly onto the market.
Noting that Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and the other leaders of CARICOM continue to advance with Ministers of Agriculture the CARICOM 25% by 25 plan, where they are seeking to reduce the food import bill of the region by 25% by 2025. Minister Caesar said to achieve this endeavor, it is important that persons buy local and promote local food consumption. Delivering the feature address at the World Food Day ceremony today was Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who spoke directly to the team for World Food Day 2023, Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind. PM Gonsalves noted that water makes up 50% of our bodies, with 71% of the Earth's surface covered by water, and about 2.5 billion people out of the 8 billion in the world live in water-distressed countries, which he said raises the matter of desertification, drought, and land degradation.
And with those snapshots, you can see where we are going here, and even in our own country, we have severe periods of drought, alternating with very high bursts of rainfall, all a consequence of man-made climate change. And that's an issue which we have to address on an ongoing basis, not just the broad issue of climate change, but we have to address desertification, drought, and land degradation. And the land degradation takes various forms. And we have to address the challenging issues of biodiversity, and naturally, the wider of the three global conventions, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And you know, in Dubai, in UAE, United Arab Emirates, towards the end of November, beginning of December, there's the 28th edition of the Conference of Parties under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which will be held. And that has consequences for us. It's of importance to us because we have to address matters of mitigation, adaptation, and to see how loss and damage goes.
And Food and Agriculture Organization National Representative Dr. Colleen Phillips said the availability of food in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is not the same in some countries around the world and should not be taken for granted. Dr. Phillips highlighted the critical role of water for life on earth and water as the foundation of food.
Millions of people around the world struggle for even a single meal, and thousands die from starvation. Despite increased global food production, there are still many people who are hungry and undernourished. Food waste, poverty, inequality, wars and conflicts, and many other factors are to blame. World Food Day has a great importance because it is focused on promoting policies and programs that have been established by the United Nations to eradicate hunger and malnutrition. One aspect of World Food Day is to foster a culture of healthy and hygienic food to prevent different types of foodborne illnesses.
In regards to the World Food Day Theme 2023, Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind, Dr. Phillips noted that the theme was chosen to highlight the importance of water to livelihood, food systems, and food security.
Water affects all the elements and activities related to producing and consuming food and their effects, including economics, health, and environmental outcomes. How does it affect the complex network that involves farmers, processors, traders, retailers, consumers, and many others? Well, as is the case of land, energy, and biodiversity, water also influences factors such as policies, markets, technologies, culture, and behaviors. Water plays a critical role determining the characteristic of a country's food system. And food systems are important because they determine how we get our food from the farm to the fork, and how our food affects our health, well-being, and environment. Food systems are essential for achieving food security and nutrition for all people. Food security means that people have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary need and preference for an active and healthy life. Food insecurity can be caused by various factors, such as poverty, conflict, climate change, natural disasters, disease outbreak, and supply to the value chain.
And teachers of the Gourmet Methodist Preschool today introduced their preschoolers to some of the fruits and vegetables that are locally grown in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This through an exhibition hosted by the school today in commemoration of World Food Day. Supervisor of the Gourmet Methodist Preschool, Andrea Cupid, outlined the importance of the activity to the teachers and preschoolers.
We have an annual celebration of World Food Day. And it is important that the children know about foods and fruits that we grow in St. Vincent, and it's important that for them to know that having food and the type of food that we grow, the importance of food in making us healthy, and foods are nutritious, and not just seeing the food in their natural state. The children will be able to understand that the foods are not just in the pot, but they can see them in their natural state and how they look before the parents prepare them.
Cupid also spoke to the preschoolers about the importance of water, noting that the community also has its own unique water, the Belay Mineral Spa. The students used the opportunity to share with our news team what they have learned about the different fruits and vegetables grown locally.
This one.
Banana.
What are these?
Ginger.
What are these?
Coconut.
What are these? What is this one? You know this one? This is a strange one to you? Ah, what is this one? This one is a soursop. What is this one? What are these? You don't know these ones?
No.
Name it. Tell her what is it, Ima?
It's a one.
The Fancy Government School also hosted its annual World Food Day exhibition at the school today. On display at the exhibition were a variety of agricultural produce, agro-processed goods, and cooked food. Grade 2 teacher at the Fancy Government School, Lucia Williams, said that the exhibition today highlights the importance of food and water to living.
World Food Day is a time for us to reflect on the importance of food and how it connects to our lives, our health, and our planet. This year's theme, Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind, is a powerful message that draws attention to the crucial role of water. Water is essential for agriculture, domestic purposes, services, livestock, and industry. It is our responsibility to ensure that no one goes hungry because they lack access to clean water. And today, as usual, the Fancy Government School is having their food exhibition, and we are grateful to our parents who gave us these lovely, delicious food, and may they continue to support us in our World Food Day exhibition.
And Form 1 782 with their soup, entree and dessert cup the first place prize of the North Union Secondary School annual Fireside Cookout competition held last Friday, October 13th. In second place was Form 4 10 DG1 with their callaloo soup with corn, crayfish and lobster, and third place Form 1 7A3 with grilled fish, roasted breadfruit and banana fritters. The North Union Secondary School annual Fireside Cookout was held in commemoration of World Food Day, observed annually on October 16th. Head of the school's English and Modern Language Department and the organizer of the competition, Melissa Richards-Lewis, said that the Fireside Cookout is an interclass competition involving 18 classes at the school.
This is our third year of competition. This year we've added a new level to the competition, a new layer. We have a selected food item that each grade level is expected to use in the preparation of their dish. So we have our grade 7s using bananas, grade 8s using coconut, grade 9s using breadfruit, grade 10 corn, and grade 11 potatoes. Each class will be judged on how well they're able to incorporate their selected food item into the preparation of their meal. Our judges this year are Shalice Rogers, one of our past students, Mr. Calvert Jones, and Mr. Asbert Williams.
And principal of the North Union Secondary School, Sinclair De Santos, said that the competition is aimed at building technical and vocational skills of the students and teach them a different way of preparing meals.
Of what is the purpose of the curriculum? The purpose of the curriculum is to respond to the needs of the society and to address the issues that affects the sustainability of the society. So with so many diverse abilities, I looked at the data and realized that some of our students are performing well in the technical and vocational area. So we need to give greater focus to technical and vocational education. We then move technical and vocational education from a marginal to a central position on the school's curriculum. Bearing in mind that each student needs to find a niche market for their particular aptitude, putting an end to the failure syndrome. So we had food, nutrition and health being given a central place. The students are cooking only on firewood, right? So we are trying to build their skills in this particular field. We have other areas which we emphasize at different times of the year. But this is our World Food Day activity.
In more local news now, we hear that the police here are investigating the circumstances surrounding a shooting incident that resulted in Delano Patrick's death. Elias Smokes, a 33-year-old laborer of Layu. The incident occurred about 1 a.m. on Sunday, October 15, 2023 in Middle Street, Layu. The police say preliminary information revealed that Patrick was on his way home when he was accosted by an assailant or assailants and shot multiple times about his body. He was transported to the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital for medical treatment. He later succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead at about 2 a.m. by a medical practitioner. The police say the crime scene unit processed the scene and retrieved items of evidential value. A post-mortem examination is expected to be carried out on the deceased to ascertain the exact cause of death. The RSVG Police Force expresses its deepest condolences to those negatively affected by the fatal incident and is asking anyone with information that can assist with the investigation to contact the officer in charge of the Southwestern Division. Any police station or police officer you are comfortable speaking with, noting that all information received will be treated confidentially. The killing in Liu on Sunday brings the country's homicide count for the year thus far to 42, which is a record set last year. And at a town hall meeting in Toronto, Canada on Sunday evening, leader of the opposition, Dr. Godwin Friday, said the crime situation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is frightening and asked the question, when will it end?
As Chevron said, must we settle for this? Is that our new normal? Must the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines resign themselves to constantly feeling insecure and frightened in their own homes, walking to work, in the places that they play? That can't be what we have come to. We must not accept this as our fate, but see it for what it is. It's a social problem that has a cause and it has remedies. But it can only be addressed effectively if there is a plan and the will to get it done. Some of our people, they throw their hands up. They say, Friday, what are you going to do? Yeah, crime everywhere. We are not saying that we are going to end crime. We're not that naive. The point that I'm making is that in a free, democratic society, there are tolerable limits that we accept.
Noting that the crime situation in the country is a social problem, the NDP leader said it has a cause and solutions, but there needs to be a willpower and a plan to deal with the problem.
We have a new commissioner of police. I had called for that some time ago in a press conference I gave in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So now we have a new commissioner of police. Let us hope that he takes a more effective approach and can do better to fix this problem. My colleagues told you about some of the struggles that our people are having making ends meet. That is not a joke. That is not something that we make up. Last weekend at the town hall meeting in Brooklyn, I told a large audience there that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is going in the wrong direction. Despite all of its promises, despite our abundant potential, despite the hope that circumstances seem every day to conspire to snuff out in our people, but so far have failed. Despite all of that potential, our country is moving or is not moving forward like the other countries in the region, the countries neighboring us. We are simply going in the wrong direction.
And a cadre of police officers will be given the opportunity to hone their skills in fighting crime through a crime scene management course that is scheduled to commence tomorrow, Tuesday, October 17, 2023, from 9 a.m. at the Argyle Fire Station Training Room. The training will be jointly executed by the CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security, INPACS, and the Regional Security System, the RSS, in collaboration with the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. The SVG Police Force cells. The objective of the training is to improve the competency, capability, and performance of police officers to secure, preserve, examine, and manage crime scenes. The expected outcome is to increase the effectiveness and efficiency of investigating all types of crimes and getting value for money. Dr. Andre Clark, Chief of Operations and Intelligence at CARICOM INPACS and one of the primary facilitator of the training, said in accordance with the multi-dimensional approach to combat gun crime, it is imperative that we not only employ the use of initiatives such as the CARICOM Gun Crime Intelligence Unit, but also ensure that we train and upskill our officers as part of our crime and security strategy. Major Kerry Waterman, Chief of Operations at the Regional Security System, will be the other facilitator during the training. He noted that there is an inherent need for continued training for our law enforcement agencies to augment the region's ability to safeguard the integrity of forensics and exhibits, hence the importance of the timely training for police officers. The training course will culminate at the same venue on Thursday, October 19, 2023 at 2 p.m. with a practical exercise.